Good morning, everyone. Yep, I know we have some headwinds at the beginning, and thank you, Neil, for that, because it's just providing a stage for us to actually demystify the moment that we are enjoying all right now, because I think as an industry, we're having an AI moment. And personally, I'm going to be speaking from a proof of concept. I've managed businesses in the region. I've set up a few of the companies, and I'm so glad that nowadays these companies are licensed users of BoltChatAI. So we're not really competing in the same space. We are a SaaS company. We're like Qualtrics, if you want to call it, and we are actually moving in the same space towards becoming more efficient. And personally, I am a promoter of the 20 SMR questions on how to buy or purchase SMR agency or products. So I'm with you today in presenting what is probably one of the most pioneering functionalities and capabilities of an AI agency. There are so many agencies out there, and for me, I actually got into an article that it's good to be polite to your AI agent. And it really matters a lot. It's not your Google search, and you need to train it, you need to do conversations with it, and politeness matters. And actually, I'm going to talk about how that goes very far in relation to product innovation research with Opella. So, there's a lot of unstructured data. And the future of data last year, based on the SMR conventions, is synthetic. And I think it's telling. There are headwinds. However, we shouldn't be confined in relation what is qual and what is quant. Yeah. I've been in this industry. I've celebrated last year's 25th anniversary, working on traditional research methods as well as synthetic data. And I feel like researchers are now more empowered in relation to having real conversations with their consumers. So this is actually a tool that our founders, once they were at Unilever and at Ricket before, thought they would have. They were marketing directors, mostly from the marketing side and less of a CMI function. And this is because they needed to reheat some of the old data to uncover what is the why behind the what. And I think, having to reach globally at this stage after being, after starting the tool in the UK back in 2021, we are blessed with so many advocates in relation to promoting our tool. And in the region, we're also happy to note that we have trained a lot of languages in relation to being able to not only ingest lingua franca, but also being able to have an agentic conversation. Agentic is a way wherein your moderator actually does not follow your guide. There is a North Star, and when you set your context and objectives in the platform, that conversation becomes autonomous. And it goes back to the objectives of the study. So it's not like your messenger engagement or encounter that actually follows the order of the guide or the discussion guide, but it's actually looking at the whole objectives and trying to actually make sense of that conversation within your length of interview or LOI. Now, just in relation to setting the framework, because most of us here are coming from the traditional approach, at BoltChatAI, we actually could have a reference to the same Qual or IDI milestones in relation to setting up a project. Steps 1 to 3 becomes seamless. This can happen, sometimes, overnight. It's because we do have API panel agencies. My recent engagement was with Pure Spectrum, which is a sample aggregator, and I do believe in data quality. So we don't have synthetic persons here. What we have here are actually samples from the Dynatas of the world, the Synth, the Tuluna, and they're piped in. And we can also work with your CRM in relation to if you want your own CRM to be part of the respondent base, and we can set that up for you. So all of these things are happening, frictionless. Translations are on the fly. You can actually just toggle the bar if you want it in English, or if you want it in Malayo, or if you are working in Japan, if you want it in Japanese, for non-Roman discussions. And then you have the quality vetting, which is basically your AI moderation that happens in two ways. There is actually an AI moderator that is agentic, and there's an AI referee. The AI referee, if you look at it in an FGD setting, if someone who is not articulate or not able to participate in the discussion, someone will kick that person out. And that is also happening here. So the AI referee politely dismisses an individual if that person is flatlining, and so on and so forth. Now, the game changing of it all, which actually I thought we're really having a moment, is the step 4, wherein you're able to resurrect past data from your other friendly agencies. So this is where collaboration happens from our point, because if we approach a client, we work with their other quant agencies. So for example, I'm able to put in data from Nielsen, with our primary research data, or data from Mintel, and then regenerate a new report. So this is actually something that is really worth a try for everyone. Our data doesn't hallucinate because it's gated, and that's why we do have the permission from all those brands that have provided their logos with us, because it's gated. It cannot hallucinate because it's like a sourdough. It actually feeds on the yeast that you put in. So if you upload a file, that's it. It will parse for you. It will do summarization for you. If you do your prompting, you can train that. And so just before we proceed to what we have done in collaboration with Opella, I'm just going to give you the respondent experience, because it can be approached in different ways. As I've said, it's like a quantitative survey, but in a qual setting. We work with the panels of the world.
Since taking these vitamins, I definitely say my body feels more healthy. I used to feel quite fatigued in the morning, and like I said earlier, I used to get headaches quite often. So my last purchase, I actually went in store to Boots. I'm very lucky that I actually live quite close to my local store. So it's sort of now in my routine. Whenever I notice that I've only got 2 or 3 tablets left, I will actively make the choice to go down to my local shop, and I will purchase a new bottle of the daily vitamins that I use.
So as you can see, it is really agentic. So, and this is something that I think everyone should probably look into. If their panel provider, or sorry, if their AI provider is able to do agentic conversation, meaning to say it doesn't just follow a discussion guide. And this is something that is happening, which is, it's a state of play this year, and everyone is so excited about it. As you can see, it can ingest and process all the stimuli, and you can also upload the same. It has all the capacity at the moment, and later on I'm going to talk to you about what's up for this year. So I think I've talked about the AI moderation to be quite special here. What I actually appreciated with the platform, and even in my role, is that it makes all the researchers even more powerful. The magic of AI happens when you have human in in the play. We are not dismissed. I think I am even more powerful. In terms of headcount, BoltChatAI is only 43 worldwide. I'm the 43rd employee and counting. But we are actually punching above the weight line, the weight limit of other agencies beyond the top 3 or the top 4 in the world. It's just because there's so many ways to be smarter in our roles and becoming more efficient as clients as well. Now, I'm gonna skip this. This is how, it's the newest thing that could happen to AI moderation, to have an agentic AI moderator. And the use cases, before we move on to Opella, can be from, the use case of early testing through to, sentiment analysis. And we work with the big agencies of the world in relation to brand tracking, because they really want to pepper their brand tracking with some Qual at scale to bring things to life. Okay, Val.
Thank you. All right, I'm Val Pastrana. I look after consumer science and innovation in Sanofi Consumer Healthcare, now called Opella. And you'll see a little bit more about the new company that we're setting up in a little bit. So I'm really pleased to share with you some of my experiences as well deploying this tool in running a big piece of research that we're doing for Japan. And I'll tell you a bit more about the challenge we're having in Japan and why this tool is quite important for us to use. So this is all about doing more product research and really understanding how can we create new innovation opportunities in a highly fragmented, very competitive red ocean space like Japan for OTC and healthcare. But before that, a little bit more about Opella. So you might have known that Sanofi has a consumer healthcare business for 10 years, 14, 15 years now. So we have actually formally carved out of Sanofi just last week as well. So we have celebrated our day one in May 1 last week. So we are now the third biggest OTC VMS player and the purest healthcare company after Haleon and Kenvue. We have about running into 6 billion euros of revenue now this year, and we are serving 500 million consumers right now. Obviously, we want to bring this to more consumers as much as we can because we believe in the science behind the brands. So just a bit more about the company in this video. I think that stops there. As you can see, we are here, and our mission is to really decomplexify self-care. It's the most complicated category right now for consumers. So many need states, so many options, and the science is not even understandable to some consumers. It's even more critical in a market like Japan. So if you've seen the drugstores in Japan, this is a typical shelf that you will see. A sea of options, so many different messaging, and there's no clear signal to the consumer in terms of what will work for them and what's actually value for money for them as well. So this is where we kind of brought a huge piece of work to understand how can we cut through the clutter in a market like Japan and really identify spaces like how do we ensure better brand architectures so that consumers can navigate through the shelf and really know which one is for them. How do we make sure also that we can deliver superior pack and product experiences? I don't know if you know this, but if you've been in Japan and you buy pills, the only option you have are white pills, and white pills. That's it. It's for every benefit that you will want. And what we're trying to do here also is to start bringing the heuristics into that choice so that consumers can really get the effect and the signals that they want in the experience that they have from these products. And obviously, bringing new novel experiences as well, because it's highly commoditized and very standard. And obviously, at the end of the day, as a consumer scientist also, I want to make sure that what we're bringing in into these products are something that consumers will like. So gone are the days when you have very bitter syrups, for example, that your children absolutely hate to take. It will be a more desirable experience for the mom and the kid. And more importantly, making sure that it halos and supports the efficacy to drive compliance, repeat, and ultimately the benefits that we wanted to deliver to the consumers. As you've seen from the video also, we're not just any kind of consumer healthcare company. So we are digital first. We know we're a challenger, and that's why we need to break through the norms in terms of how we do things, including research. It has all the benefits that you've seen already from the previous presentation. So we're looking for all of these things to be cost-effective, to be fast, to be flexible, making sure that we're also deep. So we don't compromise on the ability to get to the deep insights. And that's probably a problem right now with some of the more emerging tools that we're using. It's efficient, but it's average. There's nothing more that you can get out of it, and you become one of the red ocean players in the market. And more importantly also in a tool like Bolt is to be scalable. So Opella, or Sanofi from before, has a bad habit of not liking qualitative research. They want quant data. So there's a lot of what. There's a lot of data that we have, but not a lot of insights also. And that's why we wanted to bring in the qual and the quant element at the same time. And that's how we kind of ended up with Bolt. And we found that Bolt is a good way to kind of pilot these new tools, new capabilities, and to demonstrate to the company that there's a better way of doing research that's not going to bust the bank and help us also get to the deep insights to cut through the clutter that I've shared with you. So what we did is actually a multimodal research. So we had multiple legs to this research. It's not just the Bolt tool. We had sensory work as well that's more technical. And we have implicit testing also, which is more quantitative. And together, all these three we've put all this data together. Again, you cannot expect AI to tell you to do these things, right? So there's still a human-led intervention in this, and AI is a tool that we use so that we can get to what we desire to get out of these pieces of research. We've done a lot of things there, so I won't talk about the details there, but it's a huge piece of research also for Bolt. And we've tested many different things in that research, benefits, formats, experiences, and that's why that richness in the conversation with the consumer is really important for us to get, so that we can triangulate the what that we're generating from the sensory benchmarking and implicit data. The more important thing is that we were able to turn this around in 5 days. As a researcher, I always get an embarrassment of wealth at the end of the year, right? So I have so much budget to spend. But I have to spend it in 15 days before the books close. And that's a benefit that we were able to get also with Bolt. We were able to turn this around in 2 weeks. 5 days for the field work, and then another week for me to just go through the data and analyze and generate a report that we need to provide to the business. All right, I won't talk through this in too much detail, but the one thing I just want to highlight is the one on the left, which is the say and do. Again, this is something that you can't expect AI to tell you, but it's important for us to understand the different functionalities of the tool. And what Bolt has provided to us is an opportunity to triangulate what they say to what actually they do. So there's a bit of behavioral understanding as well, and a bit of behavioral science that we were able to embed in the tool. And I'm more than happy actually to be given access to flexible tools within the platform to be able to do just that. So very quickly, there's a lot of new opportunities. I'm not obviously at liberty to disclose what those new opportunities are, but we've identified many different opportunities to really influence the innovation pipeline for Japan, and we're really excited to go ahead and do that. But more importantly, again, I think in terms of the methodology itself, it delivers on what we intended to do, and that's the partnership that we have with Bolt. I have a wish list also at the bottom there, which I think they're working on right now, which is even more AI implementation in terms of analyzing images, videos, behavioral videos, and more importantly, get to the level of depth that you can only get from a human IDI.
Thank you, Val. Yes, indeed. Most of our developments, and they're based primarily in Istanbul, with all our engineers there, we actually grow from the wish list of our clients. And whenever I show these last two slides, basically I'm just putting out there what's an update for the industry in relation to AI, because I also present the same at IEX and also at SMR events. Now, I think everyone is aware of supercharged meta. This is where you can reheat past reports. Concept generator is when you work with marketing. Now, this actually cuts the innovation pipeline in relation to having an external. I'm not against the creative houses or the ad agencies doing concepts for their brands or clients, but this time we can actually gate it. We can keep it within the loop of CMI, marketing, and research agencies. I'm also thankful for the creative expression of those creative houses, but we have use cases wherein we didn't go through the creative houses and just proceeded with concepts through the CMI and marketing working with us in tandem. And on the right-hand side is something that I think everyone should be excited about. Early this year, I've been trying to create an avatar for myself. Basically, I've trained my own AI. Just like you train your own chat GPT, it will actually write a questionnaire the same way that you think. It will actually analyze things and do speeches the way you would like them to, the way you speak. So you can engage, you can feed just basically like having that sourdough. You can feed that yeast and have, that persona think like you. It's so surreal, but it's happening right now. And then you have custom moderators, so we can have a moderator for category X, Y, and Z, and that moderator is agentic. It will think in that same way as a moderator specifically designed for kids, for teens, for the gray market. You can actually custom that as well. UX is something that we've done very recently, and this I'm really happy about. We work with the Amazons of the world in relation to providing the flagship in-store within Amazon experience and for that e-commerce experience. And we actually have gone outside of the research circles and have collaborated with UX and CX agencies. Moderator avatar is similar to the AI persona, but this is actually speaking, and this is part of Val's wish list, but this is something that we should be excited about this year. So welcome to the new era of research. There are so many things that will empower us. It will not replace everyone, but it actually will make you more powerful and efficient. Thank you.